Now what's good, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please make sure you subscribe if you haven't, so that you get notified next time I post the video. Now, former NTV journalist Larry Madowo has finally come through to explain the real reason why he left the Nation Media Group owned TV station. Now, you guys can remember very well when Larry Madowo was leaving NTV, he came through and told the viewers that he was taking a break and he would be back. But as it turns out, that is not the case, because this guy's woes started after his extensive covering of Raila Odinga's mock swearing, which went down at Uhuru Park. And he further explained the ugly situation that followed after government ordered the shutdown of 3 major TV stations in Kenya, including NTV. And that is after which his former boss, that is Linus Kaikai, as well as his former colleague at NTV, were earmarked for arrest, and they had to take anticipatory bail, barring police from arresting them. And after all that drama, that is when he resumed his work at NTV, and he was told that he would not go on air until things calms down, as well as publishing his article on Daily Nation. And that is when he became frustrated again, or he felt violated, and decided to leave the Nation Media owned TV station. Anyways, this is what he had to say while speaking during his acceptance speech at the Association of Foreign Correspondents in the USA.
Let me tell you a fun story. 2 years ago, I had to evade arrest by my own government and end up in a safe house. And how we did that is we crouched under a car that came out of the basement, and basically at the very bottom of the belly of the car, and kind of somehow made it out of the newsroom where I used to work. It's very dramatic in the movies, but in real life it's just really smelly. So please vacuum your cars. The reason why that was is because 2 years ago, the Kenyan government suddenly shut down 3 of the biggest independent TV stations for national security reasons. And the national security reason is because the leader of the opposition after the election decided that he was going to swear himself in a parallel swearing in. And the government said we could not cover that because it would inflame passions or whatever. And so I was an anchor and editor to one of the stations, NTV, and I was on the air when our signal was taken off the air. And I became one of the most critical opponents of this attempt to muzzle us and to basically harm our freedom. And I was very publicly disagreeing with the government locally on my social media, but also in lots of international outlets. And so one of my colleagues and I, as well as our boss, was earmarked for arrest by this very brutal wing of the Kenya police that's known for enforced disappearances. So we could have gotten arrested and disappeared forever. And that's why they were camped outside our newsroom, and if we went out, then we were going to get nabbed, and that's why we had to go into the safe house. And eventually we got something called anticipatory bail, and which essentially blocks the government from arresting you. And if they prefer charges against you, then you say, I'm a law-abiding citizen, I'll show up in court to answer any charges. And that's how we became free. But when I went back to work, my organization, I used to write a column for a newspaper also owned by the organization, and I tried to write about that experience, and I was told, actually, we can't publish that. And I was also told that we're going to keep you off the air for a little bit, just until things cool down, and you can't interview these people when you come back. So not only was I a target of arrest by the government, but then the organization was self-censoring to try and not displease the government. And obviously, it was a situation that was unacceptable for me. I ended up publishing the same column with CNN.com, thanks to them, and I left the organization.
That is what's up. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram, blizguy.ke, and I'll be back with more news.